Welcome to Australian Sports Sedans tonight, live from Winton for the final round of their season number 12. And what a great season it's been. All Australian tracks for the first time. We finish it off at this relatively new track on iRacing, Winton Motor Raceway. And our 595th broadcast tonight, getting closer to that 600 mark, of which I then retire. Brocky Schaefer out on the track, currently leading the times. Benjamin Roberts P2 and Brendan Jenner P3. You can see Ryan Simpson out there as well right now, getting himself set for action. Carroll, Medson, Knockolds, Kirpon, Collins and Orlemans at the moment rounding out your top 10. Hear the music, take you down to the racetrack. We'll turn up the sounds. Shortly we'll talk to Ram McClurkin and we'll discuss a little bit about tonight's racing. A 1:16.2 currently the top time from Brock Schaefer. 38 thousandths of a second behind him, it is Benjamin Roberts. So looking very good, looking close in the times as well. The top 5 covered by 0.8 of a second. So welcome aboard tonight on YouTube, Twitch and Facebook. G'day Will Wilson. And hello Graham Ellis as well. Have a good broadcast. Lukey says 328 stars. Thanks my friend, 4-week streak. That's an odd number. What's the relevance of that number? 328, love it. And we are in for the 2-race format again tonight. I'm feeling a bit under the weather tonight. I'm feeling a bit exhausted, to be honest with you. So let's try and perk this up with some input from you guys so I can have some input and then obviously some topics to talk about. Because if you're here to see a particular driver, which I hope you are, I hope these drivers have shared the stream and we can... Thanks, Graham. I hope these drivers have shared the stream, and that way they've got their friends tuning in to watch them, because it's a great shame if all the hard work from the sponsors and the people that put this league together isn't rewarded with plenty of mates tuning in. Will Wilson says, I've made the same retirement joke at 4.95. I tell you what, I feel the end is near though. Sadly, I literally am winding myself either into a state of unconsciousness or early retirement here. Neil Yates says, send it, Brock. Evening, Luke. Hello, mate. How are you? Welcome tonight. Neil Yates with the 50 stars too. G'day. And Winton Motor Raceway, it's a track that a lot of these drivers have probably seen a few laps around as we watch Brock Schaefer picking his way through some traffic. Practice tonight, 30 minutes. So we're at the halfway point of that now. And hello, Rebecca as well. Hello, everyone that's tuning in now and getting ready for tonight's racing. So there will be the qualifying session straight after this. Open setups tonight again. We've got the drone camera up in the air to catch some of the action. There's a big cloud of smoke down there around the boob momentarily a second ago. So someone's had a bit of an off around the trees. It's a big grouping of cars as well, all put together in this one part of the racetrack, taking a slipstream off each other. There's Ram McClurkin, our series organiser out there, just putting a few laps in now. Go Brocky number 1. Retirement is as good as everyone thinks, says Graham. I don't know about that. I think I felt the end was near at about broadcast 300, and we're almost double that. So at the 600 mark, I reckon I'm in the nursing home. So 5 nights from now, basically. Orlemans goes up into the top 9 now. Just watching the times at the top now. Brendan Jenner, I think, may have an infringement from last round hanging over his head, so I'm just going to try and quickly read some notes here. But I think he does have a pit lane penalty or a pit lane start for the first race tonight because of the melee at the start of last week's race at Phillip Island, which took quite a few drivers with him. So fortunately that's a bit of a costly mistake, and he'll get punishment this round as well as we look down through the trees at Hayden Carroll, the beautiful Porsche there, cutting his way through some traffic and trying to find some clear air in the background. Off the track was Fousen going for a bit of an excursion. Keeps it off the wall, luckily for him, and then resets to the pits. So here's on us. Rue Coister's out there in the Lamborghini. Welcome back, Rue. And car looking good, the FRG, formerly Racing Group driver. Matt Dexter's also out there in the Big M car tonight. Lockie Barlow, Shane Nichols in the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini's pretty popular out there. We've got 2 Porsches, 2 Ferraris, 1 McLaren, Ram McClurkin in the sole McLaren for this season, season 12, and they have confirmed they want to do season 13 and 14 to round out the year with me. So here's me talking of retirement and taking more bookings. Righto, So Alden's there. Kurt Bond, let's have a quick look at the Fords, because sometimes they don't get all the love they deserve. But great looking race car, and you can see on the back of that Pitstop model cars, tonight's round sponsors. So big thanks to Pitstop model cars getting on board and supporting what we do here, and supporting obviously the series. Of course, if you don't know what that is, here's a quick look at their website. So plenty over there you can go and look at. Incredible range of cars, and all you got to do is click on the one you want. How's this one? I reckon we'll go shopping right now. Look at that, beautiful. You can buy it on PayPal. That's a Toyota TS050 hybrid, and it's the Le Mans winning car from 2020. So you can head over to PayPal and you can click on that. It tells you all about it. Tells you the scale as well. Just trying to see what the scale is. That's 1/18, so that's quite a big replica. That'd be cool up on the shelf, wouldn't it? Some other favourites. We'll have a bit of a scroll around, and I might bring you back for some other ones as I find the ones I love and put them on my wish list. That's for sure. Brock Schaefer still sits at the top of the time. So in this, our BMW, as I call it, the Barbara Streisand BMW, the big nose, the big nostrils, looking good out there. Hey, he's got a good range of Aussie cars too. I was just having a bit of a squiz there in the side window. Look at that. Some old and new as well. If you're a fan of the super cheap auto car, there you go. In fact, I've seen some of these. You can buy the plain skin Mustang like this one here. And if you're a keen iRacer, I've seen a lot of guys do this. There you go, you buy that, and then they get someone to sticker it with their iRacing livery. So, and you can do the same with the Holden, of course. So, very cool. Pitstop model cars. Go check it out. And I think you can probably Google who does the sticker kits for them, but they send them out all over Australia, and you can get your iRacing V8 supercar livery stuck on one of those cool models. 10 minutes now until we go qualifying. Looking forward to that. Rob Benson said, let's go Robbie and the Chill Out Boys tonight. G'day Skipper, says Keith Logan. Another good call last night. Thanks, man. It was fun last night in the Roads to Rumble Enduro. We got one more round of that next week from Bathurst. Brendan Jenner, who I said before, in the Tony Ricciardello inspired livery out there, he will be starting, I think, rear of field due to that infringement from last week. There is Medson, who was just spoken about in the chat in the Audi. The car looks great, doesn't it? Maglock on the side, and the black really striking the pose out of this Winton racetrack. We've got some good curb cams we set up as well. This one's a spectator camera, which when I did the Pro Series, set up a few of these camera angles, but this one shows a good up on the hill shot, which literally is where you would sit, and you can see the whole racetrack from this vantage point. You lose them slightly down the hill here, but that's where we've got another camera set up down the hill. Check that out. And that'll pick up some of the action shots tonight throughout the racing as well. What would it be without a curb cam? Well, we've got you covered there as well. The curb cam is around McClurk and just bursts over the curb cam now. That's set up and ready for action tonight as well. So we got you covered here on RACESTARS TV, and well, not too far away now from qualifying, and I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you are too. So we're about 8 minutes now off qualifying, hanging out, just waiting for Rand to come in. I think he'll pop in shortly for a chat, as Schaefer still holds the top time. Benjamin Roberts and Brendan Jenner. Ryan Simpson in 4th place, the top 4 covered by half a second. It's been, I think, the first season where they've had the open setups, the ability for drivers to change exactly each corner of the car and how they want it to feel. And I think that has somewhat had an effect on the speed and ability of these drivers. Some of them will run high fuel in these practice sessions. They save a little bit, and they'll load in their quali mode for qualifying, of course, which will be low fuel. The risk in doing that is you've got to make sure you put the fuel back in for the race, otherwise you're in big trouble. These are sprint races here tonight, so no need for fuel stops. There's the all-in-one car off the circuit as well. A couple of drivers just going for an excursion here. Sorry, Samuel Collins now out on the racetrack in the Porsche. He's right on board with him for a little bit of a lap here around Winton Raceway. So using all the track and more there, you can see him right out to the edge, exit curb as well. Now into this twisty single line part of the circuit where we haven't seen a lot of overtaking at this racetrack since it came into iRacing. Generally, most of the broadcasts we've done has been quite single file, and you see now the lines that are taken around here and just winding through the gears. There's a lot of throttle control, so important around here. He backs out of that, so he's, I think, trying to find a bit of track position. The car sounds great though on board, doesn't it? New fastest lap, 1:16.27 for Brock Schaefer ahead of Roberts, now super close in the championship with these two as well. 61 thousandths cover the top two, as they've been all year round or all season round. G'day Rand, welcome aboard tonight. Hello, and how are you feeling?
I'm okay. Yeah, those boys are fast. They've been the guys up all in the front area. They've all been practicing a lot over the weekend, I noticed.
Is it a popular track between the guys as they've, first time here for the Sports Sedans?
Popular? I don't know about popular. I think we're all very grateful that we've got the track. I reckon it's a much more difficult track on the sim than it is in real life. But then in saying that, I don't do a 19 even around here in real life, so maybe it gets harder as you go quicker.
Yeah, in what sense would you say it's harder? Just the curbs, or?
It just feels like the track doesn't have as much grip as it does in real life. It feels like what the track's like when it's, questionable conditions or a bit too cold, and it's been raining lots and maybe washed a lot of the rubber off the track. That's what it feels like to me.
Welcome to iRacing.
Yeah, I suppose I just noticed it here. This is probably the track I've driven the most in real life, and I think I thought I'd be quicker here, but I'm really struggling.
Yeah, the guys have put a lot of laps in. You can see Schaefer's already up to 18 laps here in practice, so I don't think he's stopped since the server launched.
Yeah, look, and good on him. I don't want to take anything away from that. I think it's fantastic. The boys up the front are trying really hard, and I think it's great. And besides probably from I know Matt's having problems, myself I'm having problems, and PJ is getting quicker. But everyone else, most of the fields, within about just over 2 seconds of each other. And I think that's really good. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, it's been a good season. I've enjoyed this one. It's been all Aussie tracks for the first time. Good close racing. It seems to be a good vibe amongst everyone as well. Everyone's getting along. Now tell us quickly though about the Brendan Jenner. I think he's got a bit of a start penalty or something, has he?
So I looked at what happened with him and into Eddie, and I just feel that it was an avoidable accident. And I just think that it really cost a third of the field that race. And I spoke to him and really, he knew that he'd done wrong, but I think he really needed to have backed out, and he didn't. And so he gets a pit lane start for the race one today, which is obviously going to hurt him a bit in overall points. I don't like doing it, but there was starting to be a bit of talk how people were like, well, no one's getting penalised. So when people start talking about that, means they're going to start doing whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
So there's another driver who I've spoken to, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with them. I suppose they don't agree that they're doing anything wrong, and So it's a hard one. I want this to be fun in the end, and I think we need some level of not driving into each other to be fun, but also I don't want to be in the early seasons we were quite strict with it, and it got a bit too much, I think. So trying to find that balance.
Yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, you want to have fun out there on a Tuesday night. I nearly said Wednesday night, but we're on a Tuesday. So
we're a Tuesday night. So this is obviously the final round for this season, and then we have a very brief break, and we're back with a 2-litre series using the GT4 cars, which will be a bit of fun. And I've literally now just got sponsors for every round, so that's all good. And then we'll come back for the final part of the year and do a GT3 series again for like Open Sports Sedans, and that will be it for the year. So
cool.
You're stuck with us a bit longer, Luke.
That's all right. I was talking retirement earlier in the broadcast, but I think whilst Sports Sedans...
Semi-retirement?
Semi-retirement sounds okay, yeah.
I think I definitely... I think probably halving how much you do probably wouldn't hurt you.
I 100% agree. I keep saying, who wants to commentate? You know what? Get some commentators in with me. Maybe get commentators. I can do the production in my sleep, but the commentating after my day job, man, I had to talk for 12 hours today.
And what sucks, though, is you're so good at the talking bit.
It's dribble. It's all dribble. I still reckon we'd make the best commentator duo, mate.
Oh, mate, you and I are fantastic. We'll tell everybody that. We would make a good team. Obviously, we both don't mind having a chat.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Like, I would struggle to do it every night. It's enough doing this one for me. So
yeah. That's it. So hey, tell us quickly. We've got qualifying coming up shortly. 10 minutes again, and then 2 race format again tonight.
Yeah. So it should be 10 minutes of qualifying. However many laps you can get for that. 10 laps is the maximum, but you're not going to do that. And then we've got a 10 lapper and a reverse grid 20 lapper. So I'm a bit nervous on how exciting it will be around here. It felt a little bit like a snooze fest when we did prototype racing around here once.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's going to be exciting because the field's separated by such a small amount of time. So it's not a big track. It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I would say it's even more tight than Oran Park in the way that you drive on it. There's not a lot of room to move.
It's hard to overtake, that's for sure.
Yeah, and in real life it's kind of similar as well. Like that's fairly, a lot of people don't like this track, but I think it's because it is a little go-kart goat track in the countryside. And while that might be detrimental, it's also kind of really cool. And it rewards good, clean driving and will reward underpowered cars that are driven well over overpowered cars that are not, so to speak.
Awesome. Well, good luck for yourself in qualifying. We'll see how you go shortly.
Cheers.
Ram McClurkin is heading out now to qualify his car as we go to this 10-minute qualifying session before tonight's double race format. So, reverse grid second race, that will be interesting. Let's head out onto the track now as the sun goes a little bit behind the clouds here. Dynamic sky, of course, here in iRacing. Oh, it's just poked out again, so that's nice to see. We love the sun here in iRacing. So we'll pick up the cars and we'll get ready for the first flying lap shortly. We're live. RACESTARS TV. Let's pick up our first racers out there now to set their first quali laps. You start to see some sectors pop up down the bottom. If you're looking for purple, of course, fastest of anyone. If you see green, it means a personal best. Yellow means slower than your personal best. So purple and green is what we want to see. Tony Don's gone off the racetrack. Ash McClurkin we haven't spoken about yet tonight. Hello, Brett Knockoll. It's nice to have you watching, mate. And there is Ashley, who needs a bit of good luck again tonight. He's out there, and he's been relatively quick. He's had a bit of bad luck throughout the season, but the number 23, Mercedes, looks incredible in that race trim, ready to go racing, of course, right now. Jordan Knockoll's out there as well, just starting a lap. In fact, just finishing a lap. So what time does he post? As Schaefer's gone purple and is incredible out there at the moment. Roberts has taken second. I'm not sure why the second sector is purple. Maybe they've both matched their times, which I'm just going to go and investigate there for the middle sector. It looks like they've gone identical through that second box, which is an 18.34 for Roberts, and Schaefer did an 18.34, hence why they both share the purple there. In fact, Roberts has gone quicker again in the third sector now, and will cross over to him as he comes through to finish the lap and goes P1 provisionally on a 1:16, which is now eclipsed by just over a tenth of a second by Brock Schaefer. Looking very good out there right now, and Hayden Carroll slots up into P3, so the time's moving around and they're straight away onto a second lap. Simpson goes fourth. Ash McClurkin about to come down and finish his lap. Ran, his brother, is off the circuit at the moment. Not sure if he's limping back to the pits, but you can just see the McLaren there limping down the grass. Probably not the best preparation for a lap. And Ash coming through to complete his lap as Ross Hansen goes fifth fastest, 1006th, Dickey 7th. Ash crossing the line now. He's gone personal best through every sector and puts a time in for 8th position, so nice job for him. Rui Koister's just coming down to the end of the circuit as well in the Lamborghini. He hasn't set a time yet. What can he post? He's also been doing some relatively good sector times on this first of his flying laps. They do get the full 10 minutes to qualify, so they can get as many laps in as they can. Crossing the line now, Koistra. Where does he go? Collins goes 5th. Koistra goes into... stays last, so that time didn't count for Rue, unfortunately, as he heads out for another lap. So an off-track must have just cost him a little bit. Jordan Knockoll's currently 7th, ahead of Medson, who's in 8th place. The Audis running 7th and 8th. They're the two sole Audis out there at the time. The two Ferraris at the moment. Roberts 2nd. Brett Dickey down in 12th place. Lucky Barlow as well out there tonight in the Mercedes-Benz, currently 13th place. So there's Brett Dickey on your screen. Heading through now to finish another lap. Lap 3 for him. He's 2.4 seconds off the pace. With that lap, does he improve? He stays 2.4 off the pace as Lockie Barlow goes across the line P13 and also stays P13, 3.5 seconds off there. Kurt Bond, 15th at the moment. Can he improve? He's setting some couple of green sectors in there. Ormans has gone green in sector 2, yellow everywhere else. Shane Nichols needs to get a wriggle on to get a time on the board, as so does Tony Don. PJ Whiteman, Brendan Jenner and Ram McClurkin seem to be out of this one. Back in the pit lane, Ram McClurkin with damage, so that means Ran won't take any longer or any more part in this qualifying session. He will start from the rear field with Brendan Jenner. Schaefer and Roberts are in the pits, I presume for some fuel, as they will be running that low fuel setup in this qualifying run. We see Ryan Simpson as Shane Nichols does put a time in for 8th now, so he's just progressed up slightly. Ross Hansen, the top forward at the moment, ahead of Kurt Bond in 13th, so 9th and 13th for the forwards. And then we look back further, Ash McClurkin, Brett Dickey, Lockie Barlow 16th. Matt Dexter goes up into 17th now, which is just eclipsed by Barlow. Is it? We'll wait and see. Yeah, so Barlow's in 17th, Dexter's 18th. Lockie crosses the line, stays P17. So Jordan Knockoll's, he's put himself into 3rd. Does he improve more with this time? He's 9/10 off the top time. I'm not sure if the sun's come out here and the track's just going away a little bit. 22 degrees. The track temp, and it's currently 19, in fact, ambient temperature out there. Pretty clear sky with the sun shining right now. Knockoll's good performance so far, but a big gap separates the top two, with a 16.2 and a 16.3 lap time versus the next best at the moment is 17.1, so fair way down the road. Simpson as well, I expected to see him maybe a little bit closer to the top two. I wonder if he's not running that low fuel in quali. So just see Ryan coming through final corner now onto the pit straight. 4th place. He's hasn't really improved throughout the sectors. 9/10 off. Does he improve his lap time overall with that first sector? He doesn't. It's 17.5, so he's maybe got 2 more attempts at this. Turning up the wick here and just trying to get a decent lap in as he runs down the hill now. You can see him. Pick him up there. Can we get the drone up in the air tonight? Let's see if we can quickly fly the drone up. It's been a while. There we go. Drone shot here at Winton Motor Raceway, and Simpson flying around, and this is do or die now. Watch the sector times down the bottom of your screen to see if he can't get himself up into the top 3 at least, or ultimately on the front row. He would love to be P2 or P1 come the end of this qualifying session. That was a race car just getting out of the way. I think one of the Fords as well. We've got Dickie off the racetrack, and just making sure they don't impede these drivers on their final laps. On board now with Simpson. So he's gone yellow, yellow, yellow. So it's not working at this final part of qualifying. Like I said, maybe the track temps just come up a couple of degrees, and maybe there's some dirt out on the circuit as well, which is not helping the drivers. But it looks like Schaefer may have jagged himself pole. Roberts is still out there, so we'll keep an eye on the times that he's posting. It's slower there at the moment. You can see the dust being kicked up on the racetrack. So it's very dirty out there at the moment. Schaefer, Roberts, Knockholes, Simpson, then Coister, Carroll, Collins, Nichols, your top 8 at this stage. You've got Hansen, Allemans, Bond, Dickey, Medson, McClurkin, Fowson and Don. Your top 16, no time set for Whiteman, Jenner and McClurkin. Obviously Jenner with that starting infringement, he'll start from the back of the field anyway, so he hasn't bothered to qualify. PJ Whiteman, not sure if he has an issue or what's going on there. And Rand McClurkin, I think, had a crash on his out lap, which meant he did not post a time either, did not complete a lap. So Knockhole's the only driver in the top 5 still out there, having a go. Hayden Carroll's out there as well. They've got about 50 seconds to finish the lap. I'm not sure they will. So I think we're pretty now set with the time. Shane Nichols maybe can finish his lap. He's in P8 at the moment, 1.6 seconds off the lead. And just coming around to the final couple of corners now. Does he continue on? He does. Car in the fence over at the pit exit, the entry there, sorry. Someone's found the wall over there, which we'll probably see in the race tonight. Crossing the line, finish his lap, and he stays P8. So there you go, that's quali pretty much run and done now. 20 seconds to go. Knockholes may find his way home, but I don't think he's improved. He hasn't. His times are pretty much staying right where they were earlier. And it looks like it will be a Schaefer Roberts front row for race 1 tonight. Here live from Winton Motor Raceway. Here's your starting order for the race tonight. It will be Brock Schaefer off the front row. Benny Roberts starting alongside him. Knockholes will start from the second row with Simpson alongside him. Then the third row, Root Coister did put in a good time at the end there to go P5 ahead of Hayden Carroll in the Porsche in 6th. Then it's Samuel Collins and Shane Nichols. The 4th row, Ross Hansen and Daniel Allemans round out your top 10. Kurt Bond from 11th tonight with Brett Dickey rounding out your top 12. 13th on the grid is Robert Medson with Ash McClurkin in 14th, and it's Fowson and Don off the 8th row. Barlow and Dexter with Jenner and Rand McClurkin 20th place. At the very back tonight, PJ Whiteman starting 21st. That's his starting order for tonight's race. Right, it's time to get underway as they roll away from this rolling start here at Winton Motor Raceway. Race number 1. Get set for some action. It will be Schaefer leading us away on the front row. Will Roberts try and get into that lead position by turn 1? I think it might be make or break off the get-go here because it is such a hard circuit to overtake on. I think we may see the odd driver just give it the full send here on lap 1. We wait for the green light and we wait to get underway as our starter gets ready to drop the green flag here for the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries, round number 5 from Winton. Final round of the series. Race 1 of 2 tonight. There's your green flag and we're off and running. Good start from Schaefer out in front. He did just what the doctor ordered. They head down in towards turn 1 and 2, this tight little section. Right up against the fence they go through now, and it is Schaefer leading. Upper position was Carroll. He did well. Carroll's got through, and so has Collins. Bit of a melee in the background as they head down the hill. Rue Koistra's lost 2 positions off the start in the Lamborghini. Not sure what happened to Rue, but he's now got to try and find his way back up the order as they now head down towards our curb cam. It's Schaefer, Roberts, Simpson to follow. Knockholds, Carroll, Collins, Koistra, Hansen. Nichols has dropped a spot. Alderman's has held position. Then Ash McClurkin has dropped back to the rear. In fact, no, he's up 3 spots into 11th. Well done, Ashley. Nearly got that wrong. So good start. We've got a spinner there. That was Alderman's who's gone around. And we'll lose a stack of positions on this opening lap with that little mistake. Meanwhile, the 2 out in front. Brock Schaefer looking back. Look at the sideways action there from Benjamin Roberts. It's cost him a mega amount of time, but it was impressive to watch. And he now drops back by over a second on this opening lap, does Roberts. So a big moment there. Really wagging the tail in that Ferrari on this opening lap. Schaefer crosses the line, 1.2 seconds clear of the field. And Roberts tucked in behind at the moment. That was a 121 off a rolling start, so good fast lap there. Let's watch the replay down the bottom of your screen. Watch Roberts there from the onboard with Schaefer looking back. Big wag of the tail, got away with it. Hayden Carroll sits in 4th place, made up 2 spots with Samuel Collins, the next car behind him, Ron Baldwin now in the Porsche. Thanks, Matty, for the stars, and g'day Eddie as well, saying missing tonight, getting the real race car ready for the weekend at Winton. And Marika as well, saying go Brocky. Hello, Marika. Hello, Brett. I think we already said hello to you. G'day everyone watching. As the opening lap sees Koistra spin around as well. Sorry, on lap 2, he reverses off the track and gets himself out of harm's way. Spike Goddard says, have you ever considered a job in radio? Considering I'm broadcasting right now and trying to do my day job from today at the same time because I'm short-staffed for tomorrow, trying to find replacement people for tomorrow. Radio seems like an easy job. I reckon I could do that right now. So everyone thinks I multitask right now, just doing broadcasting and commentating and clicking buttons here. I'm doing about 1,000 other things right now. My stress levels have gone through the roof. But Schaefer leads here, and Benjamin Roberts has just gone 4 lots of purple there for a very quick second lap of the race. Gets the gap back down to 0.5 of a second. Spark against my voice, suited for Smooth FM. You reckon I could do a bit of the, what is it? Love song dedications, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we got Brock Schaefer leading. Benjamin Roberts P2. And the love makes. Ryan Simpson P3. I'll get sacked. I'll get sacked from this job if I keep this up. We've got Hayden Carroll P4, Samuel Collins 5th now. The 5.6 seconds is the gap at the moment between the top 5. Knockholds and Hansen, Nichols, McClurkin. Actually having a good opening run here, but the gap's already 11.8 seconds. We expected a bit of field spread here at Winton, and that's what we're getting. And hopefully some gaps and some battles will soon eventuate, but this one is Dickie and Don and Dickie down here in P14, the all-in-one motorsport driver at the moment in the Audi, getting chased down by Brett Dickie in the Ferrari. So we've actually got 3 Ferraris out there tonight: Brendan Jenner, Brett Dickie, and of course Benjamin Roberts. Brendan Jenner, who had the penalty start from the back, has already made his way up into 12th place now. And what you got to remember is all this hard work means reverse grid race. If you get yourself all the way to the top of the order in this race, you'll start from the back in race 2. It's a 20 lap second race, 10 lap first race tonight. We're already on lap 4. And Schaefer now with a 0.6 of a second margin is holding Roberts at bay. So the lead now 0.5 of a second. Roberts is leaving his run late here. He needs to get on with this. We'll jump on board for a moment now with him. He's now got the gap down to 0.4 of a second. His shot down the hill just shows the commitment out of 3 down towards 4, and he has closed it up, hasn't he? Whether or not he can stay close enough through this twisty section now to then get a chance down the back straightaway and then the pit straight, because that'll be lap 6, running out of laps. Schaefer wagging the tail there, so he is pushing super hard. They've already dropped Simpson by, well, just on 4.5 seconds now. You can see Ryan Simpson just behind the tree there, the drone getting caught up in the trees. Number 20 car there for Parramatta Smash Repairs. Then has Hayden Carroll and Simpson behind, but you can just see the distance that these top two are already pulling away. That speed they've got tells me that they can probably, in the reverse grid 20-lap race, have a run through and maybe get themselves somewhere up towards Winton tonight. Here is Ram McClurkin, P21 at the moment, and last, circulating around. He's driven many laps here in a real race car, says it feels very different in the world of iRacing, but he's also not used to doing a 119 around this race circuit, so McLaren looks the part, doesn't it, as it breathes fire out that exhaust. PJ Whiteman, another driver not to qualify tonight, currently sitting in 18th, Kurt Bond just behind him. And Whiteman up 3 positions from where he started at the back of the grid. Not sure why he missed qualifying, whether or not he had a crash. He didn't see it or catch it, but he may also just want to start from the back. Matt Dexter's up 2 spots. The biggest mover and shaker, Jenna, like I said, up 8 spots now into P11 in that Tony Ricciardello livery car, and then Lockie Barlow also moving through the field up 7 spots into a top 10 position right now, so that's a good effort. Back to the lead battle. The top 2 still separated by 0.3 of a second now, and the margin has closed down even more. Lap 7 on board with Schaefer looking back. Roberts now within 0.2. He's starting to really work the back of the BMW. I'm not sure which which car is more suited to this circuit, whether or not the BMW or the Ferrari. The Ferrari is it possibly a shorter wheelbase. That was who was that off the track there? It was one of the Chill Out Motorsport cars, I think. It was Allman. No, it wasn't Allman's. Oh, that was into the fence route Koistra. It was an interesting little cloud of the fence. Knockhole's still running in 6th place. The car off the track must have been Rob Medson, then it was the black Audi of Rob Medson limping back to the pits now, so he's in a bit of strife. Lets a couple of drivers through, and he's going quite slowly. So the gap at the front, 0.3 of a second, about to start lap 8, so we've got 3 to go. You can see Simpson in the background there. That's the gap back to P3. And Hayden Carroll starting to make a move as well. He can eye off a podium here in the Sky Sands Porsche GT3 car, so he's trying to get himself another 0.6 of a second up the road to get that P3 tonight on the podium for race 1. Porsche looking good. Good change of direction there. You can see it's nimble at this racetrack. Looks quick. Currently 4th place, 6.9 seconds off the lead. But working nicely. There is your race lead. We'll stay with this now for the next half a lap or so and see if Roberts can do something about the margin. You can see he's just chipped away. Since lap 3, it was 0.3 on lap 3, then 3 milliseconds, 51 thousandths of a second on lap 5. Just over a tenth on lap 6, and then only 24 thousandths of a second on the previous lap. So it's close out there, isn't it? And at the moment, Schaefer, Roberts, Simpson, your top 3 to take the honours in race 1 will then start from 20th, and 19th place when they have to spin around. So hard on the brakes again. Roberts closes in, 2 laps to go. He was 33 thousandths quicker on that lap, so continues just to chip away. Now the gap's under 0.2 of a second. He must feel that he's strong somewhere, and he'll probably think about at least having one go at him on the final lap, if not the penultimate lap, which we're on now. So good shot on board here. I love that front view of this Ferrari, and it looks pretty well hooked up over the curves, hitting his apexes. Nice tight line through there. Runs it off the curb, round the tree. The back end of Schaefer's car was dancing around once again. You see the back end let go as he turns the wheel. And Roberts doesn't have much real estate to work with now. He's just got the back straight and then one more lap of this Winton circuit if he wants to try and steal a win away from Brocky Schaefer here tonight. On board again with the Cert 1 Motorsport driver, Brock Schaefer. And down the pit straight. He's dropped back a bit this lap, hasn't he? It was closer previous lap as we get the white flag. 1 to go. That lap around lap 9, he was only 5 milliseconds quicker, so he continues the run of being quicker each lap. But now he's getting desperate. He's thinking about where can he have a look. He goes down the inside. Schaefer leaves the door open. There's almost some contact there. Was that the only chance? And it's the chance gone begging. That was a good effort, and good driving by Brock too, to just leave enough of a car space that the Ferrari could sneak down there and not make contact. And maybe the one and only chance there that Roberts will get. There is a lap car up ahead. It's Matt Dexter. Matt Dexter in the big M car may become part of this battle shortly, which will be very interesting. This may help Roberts. Let's jump on board with Benjamin Roberts now as he has 3 corners to go in this race, and the gap back to 0.5 of a second. Needs a really good exit onto the back straight now. I don't think close enough. And the big M car will bleed out of the way. And that's some good driving there from the young Matty Dexter. And Brock Schaefer, 1 corner to go now, should comfortably win this race. He'll come down the pit straight and he'll take a win in race number 1. And a good job too. That's a fantastic final lap to hold out Roberts. Ryan Simpson's going to come home for P3 as well. So good result for Simpson. In the Parramatta Smash Repairs car, Hayden Carroll gets 4th. Followed by Samuel Collins. Knockolls will get 6th place for Knockolls behind Collins. And then it's Ross Hanson coming through in 7th ahead of Nichols. And Brendan Jenner made it into 9th in the end after starting from the back. Ash McClurkin rounds out your top 10. Race number 1, run and done. That was some fantastic racing. We'll be back shortly with a warm-up and race number 2. Race one results up on the screen. Brock Schaefer there won it by 4/10 in the end over Roberts and Simpson, your top three. They will start from the back of the grid though in race number 2. It is a full reverse grid race coming up shortly. So 5-minute warm-up session now. 1.5 minutes in, there's quite a few drivers sitting this session out. Maybe tweaking their setup slightly for the longer race. 20 laps coming up now. Probably should just not getting the rotation on the car there. Almost ran off the circuit again. Roberts and Schaefer straight back out on the racetrack, so there's no rest for those top guys that get out there and win the race. They are straight out, practice, rehearsing, maybe doing a slight change themselves, having to add a little bit more fuel, probably double the fuel in the car. And you want to probably have a little bit extra as well, because they're going to have to push super hard from the back, maybe take a few chances on the opening lap. We tend to see the caliber of those drivers be able to pick up 5-6 spots off the start with a rolling start. They've got to be careful not to make a jump as well and get pinged for that. So we'll get ourselves ready now. 2.5 minutes, so we'll be back with you shortly to kick off race number 2 in the final race of this season 12 of the Sports Sedans. Alright, so we're about 35 seconds away from gridding up for this final race of the season, and it's coming down to the wire. Stephen was $10 on Alderman spinning in the second race tonight. That's not very nice. I'm sure he'll do everything to keep it pointing in the right direction as we see Kurt Bond in the beautiful Ford there, circulating around, getting some laps in, getting himself ready. Brendan Jenner. They're going to start, he'll start mid-pack in fact, because he did make his way through from the back in race 1. Roberts will start, oh, he's off down on there. Is he in the skid pan there? He's in the skid pan, that's interesting. Roberts has gone for an excursion down to the skid pan somehow. I'm not even sure how you get in there. I think you drive around that little road, and maybe that's where he can go and celebrate if he wins tonight's race. But they're all going to celebrate at the end of this one because it's been a good season. 5 rounds, all Australian tracks for the first time, and it's time to go down to the grid for this, our final race. So Rand McClurkin series organisers fitting that he starts this one from the front row. typical reverse grid race. Ram McClurkin and Michael Fowles will start from the front row with Rob Medson and PJ Whiteman running out the second row on a rolling start here. Kurt Bond starts from row 3. P5, Matt Dexter alongside him. Then it's Rue Koistra, Tony Don, Brett Dickey and Brett Allman's your top 10. Starting mid-pack is Lockie Barlow 11th, Ash McClurkin out of 12. 13th on the grid, it will be Brendan Jenner. Shane Nichols will start alongside him. Then you got Ross Hanson and Jordan Knockgoals, your top 16. Collins out of 17. Hayden Carroll rounds out the top 18 with Ryan Simpson, Benjamin Roberts, and starting right down the back of Brock Schaefer. This is the view that Brocky Schaefer has on board right now. Check it out. It's a long, long way forward. Let's get rid of the music and let's get set for action here from Winton. So he can see this big, big field of cars in front of him. 20 drivers he'll have to try and pass tonight in 20 laps. Well, that's one a lap. That's not too bad, really. Let's watch for how many positions he can make up off the start, though, as they roll away. And, so Ram McClurkin, Whiteman and Bond have decided to start for the pit lane. So straight away, there's 3 positions that Schaefer, Roberts and Simpson don't have to overtake. So now our new front row is Fowzen and Medson's moved up a row as well. So that's changed things around slightly. On board with Fowzen looking back. Medson is ready to bolt. You can just see he's looking very excited there. And we've got to wait for them to get going. Here we go, the green flag, about to drop to start our final race of season 12. Live from Winton on RACESTARS TV, it's the Australian Sports Sedans. There's the green light and off we go. Good start, pretty even between the top 2 drivers as they head down towards turn 1. And it looks like it will be everyone getting through cleanly. I think so. So far, so good. Back in the order as well. Everyone well behaved. Medson leads by a good margin over Koistra and Fowzen. Around the outside, Dexter tries to hang on as well. Moving up positions, Schaefer's already up 5. If you include the 3 that didn't start, he's ahead of Roberts. Roberts was out on the dirt momentarily there. Now McClurkin is under attack from Schaefer as well. Schaefer around the outside contact. There was netcode, I think, for Schaefer. Oh boy, he's pushed him out. And who's that gone with him? Lockie Barlow spun around as well. Pretty sure that was some netcode. They did not look like they'd touched at all. We'll come back and have a look at that in the, well, there's someone else spinning around there. It's all happening. Here's a quick look though at Schaefer's spin. We'll just quickly confirm, I think that was some netcode. So he went to the inside there on, and watch this, slow it down at the point of impact. Yeah, definitely some netcode. So unfortunately, I don't think there's anything in that. That's the world of virtual racing. Sometimes that happens. Medson, though, taking full advantage of this reverse grid race, leads by 0.8 of a second in the opening lap. Koistra P2, he's flying as well. Further back, you can see Dickey, and then Don and Hanson. Hanson and Samuel Collins is fighting this against the board now. Having a look down the inside at turn 1, and job done for the Porsche. Samuel Collins up 11 positions now into the top 6. The other driver that's up 11 is this man, Simpson, down the inside as well on Hanson, moves himself up into the top 7. So he's flying tonight. Simpson has made a cracking start. He's gone 12 spots up into the top 7. Meanwhile, Roberts down in 12th place and Schaefer back in 15th are on the back foot. Medson wide through there. Koistra will close up with that little mistake. Collins still fighting with now Tony Don. The all-in-one motorsport driver loses that position. He goes back to 6th. Samuel Collins up to 5th now. The next driver up the road for Collins, Brett Dickey. And gee whiz, Sam Collins here is on the fly on lap 2 of this 20-lap race. Sprint race tonight, no fuel stop needed. And he is moving along very, very nicely. Bill Wilson says, if you retire, will you please release a mixtape with all the between race slow jams you use? That would be nice. They're actually all on not Instagram, they're all on Spotify. So they're a mixture between my stuff, which is Stream Free Rock, and which I've written just for this channel, and also Harris Heller, who does stream beats, basically music that doesn't get you copyright pinged. So all available on Spotify. Maybe I'll make the playlist available for anyone to go and view at some point. In fact, can I share this playlist now? I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can share it, put the link up. Here we are, share, copy link to playlist. Let's stick that now over in Spotify and see if it comes up. There you go. How's that for technology, folks? You can now go and check out the list that I use for broadcasting. It's called No Copyright Twitch YouTube channel. Coyster starting to make a move now on Medson. And he is moving along nicely. So the Lambo P2, ahead of the Mercedes of Michael Fowles, he'll be enjoying this. He did drop the position off the start, and Brett Dickey in the faster Ferrari finds himself in fourth ahead of Collins. And there's Ryan Simpson moving forward in the background. Benjamin Roberts not too far back as well in a big battle pack now. He's got Knockles just behind him, and Schaefer not too far back as well. You see the damage to the front left of Schaefer. Oh, contact, big contact there with Tony Don as he moved his way through. That was a big crunch. Simpson up in sixth. There's Nichols then, and Roberts, Knockles, Schaefer, this little battle pack. In the mid-pack, I think he's going to get quite aggressive. Let's jump on board with Knockles as he tries to chase down Roberts. Had to get out of the throttle on the mid-corner there. Roberts up ahead, chasing or firing down the inside as sideways goes the Lamborghini of Nichols and then fires off the racetrack. Meanwhile, Roberts moves up into the top 7 now, and Schaefer's going to start following them. Schaefer's up 12 spots. Who's that off the track there? That was Brett Dickey, was it? It was. So all they could work's come undone for Brett. Drops back to 10th position, maybe 11th now as Tony Don goes around the outside. And these two get into a little scrap. On the inside, Dickey holds on Don on the outside, which becomes the inside or the outside again, whichever way you look at it. Around this twisty part of this Winton racetrack, they are having a great scrap. Sure does want to jinx it, but woohoo, go Roo. He's pushing along nicely, isn't he? Medson leads the race though, from Roo Cloister, and these two are in a battle. So will Cloister make a move here? You can see they've dropped the P3 by about 3.5 seconds now. So it's looking good at the moment for these two running away with a victory if they can keep it clean. A 1:16.9, new fastest lap there for Roberts. He's flying. 1:16.9, that is an incredible lap time there. In the mid-pack, everyone else in the 17s, 18s and 19s. So where has he found that speed? Benjamin Roberts. I wonder if he's done a little tweak to his settings or setup for this final race tonight, and he's found just a little bit of grip somewhere, but that is so fast. And there he is now closing on the back of Samuel Collins. Once he catches Collins, he's not too far off Simpson and Fowles, which puts him into a podium position. I've got no idea about championship points, by the way, so I think it was coming down to the wire. I was trying to troll before to look through if I could find the season points link, but I couldn't find it, so I gave up. Medson still leads out in front, 3.5 tenths of a second. Let's look back from this car. Oh, he's gone off the racetrack, Medson. Big mistake there. Roo Cloister goes through into the lead, and he's got a 4.4 second lead, Cloister now, as Fowles and Simpson and Roberts all engaged in this battle. And now Schaefer's joined the back of this party too. So unfortunately for Medson, he's just thrown away what was a great opportunity to win this race, and he's still dropping down the order, down to 16th now. And check this out, P2. This is a battle for second we're looking at right now, between Michael Fowles and then Ryan Simpson, Benjamin Roberts and Brock Schaefer, riding on board with Brock Schaefer in the BMW. So he's come from the back of the field here tonight, and now he's challenging to try and get up to a podium position. Roo Cloister out in front will be absolutely ecstatic right now. 4.5 seconds to lead. Can he hang on? Woohoo, woohoo, Roo, woo-roo, woo-roo. Trying to do a play on words on woohoo. That does not come out right. Woo-roo. As Fowles hangs on for second at the moment. Looking back from the big, beefy Mercedes Benz, and look at the times that lap 3 and lap 4 in particular that Simpson took out of him. It's over 1.3 seconds, so he is moving along on a sweet pace, Simpson, and also the two around it. Oh dearie me, 1,000 rockets off into the grass, and now we do have Ryan Simpson in P2, Roberts P3, and this battle is not just a championship battle. This is for P2 in this race and possibly a win, because they've still got enough time to chase down Rue Koister. Rue's in the 1 minute 18.4s at the moment. These guys who are scrapping are in the 119s and 118s as well. But you got to remember, Roberts and also Schaefer can lap in the 116s if they get a bit of clear air. At the moment, they've got to try and clear Ryan Simpson. Otherwise, that's going to make it a little bit difficult for them tonight. So riding on board with the Parramatta Smash Repairs BMW, being able to hold them off for another lap. That time around, they all did a 1 minute 17.8, and they're all still a couple of tenths quicker than Koistra. If they stay at that distance and that speed, Koistra will win this race. I think if Roberts gets past Ryan, Rue Koistra may be in a little bit of trouble. Everyone jump up and down. We'd love to see Rue win a race here tonight. He did make up 6 positions off the start too, so he's had to work hard at this. Oh wow, Roberts had a look to the inside. There was almost some contact there. Schaefer now tries to find a way through. He's going to try and sneak down the inside, I reckon, here. And they're crisscrossing. Now Schaefer on the outside. Roberts hugs the curb and then will move across to try and block him off. So super close between them. Schaefer then switches back to the right-hand side of the track. And nothing in it between these 3 drivers. Jordan Knockoll sitting in behind. He's getting a great view of this, and Schaefer was very slow out of there, wasn't he? Not sure if he just got caught up on the curb there, but he lost about 6 or 7 car lengths to the battle. In fact, he's going to lose a spot to Knockolls as well. I wonder if he got an iRacing slowdown for jumping that curb. Whatever happened, that's pushed him way back about, 2 seconds back down the road? 1.7 seconds back down the road, as Ryan Simpson has that Ferrari all over the back of him right now. We're not even halfway point in this race, and the action these guys are turning on, some of the best racing we've seen at Winton, that's for sure. It's not an easy track to overtake on, not an easy track to closely follow as well. But they're turning it on, these sports sedan drivers, as they do. Everyone in this series is either a real-life sports sedan driver, or they're part of the crew, or just a fantastic fan of what is such a great Australian series in the real world, and now has been reproduced in the online world using these GT3 cars and many different cars across 12 seasons now. Well done, Rand McClurkin, of course, for all that hard work he's put in to make this all possible. And hopefully the sports sedan community is also joining me in thanks there, because it is such a cool thing that he's done. 4.2 seconds still the lead. There is Koistra heading through the final couple of corners now to start lap 10. And the FRG Machine Cult car from the racing group, looking good. Crosses the line, Koistra 252. I see a baby, that's what's written on the back of that car. I see a baby. Chicken that. There it is, you just got a glimpse of it then. Simpson still leads Roberts. Roberts having another look. This is where he likes to send it down the inside. Schaefer trying to get past Knockolls as well. He's not really managed to progress forward. Let's go back in the pack a little bit to Fowlson and Nichols. Hayden Carroll back there in 10th place. He's made up 8 positions. Then Kurt Bond, Tony Don and Rand McClurkin further back in the order. I think McClurkin has a bit of damage, but he's all good. Looks fine. Lockie Barlow next in the order, and then Ash McClurkin behind him as Rand goes down the inside and Tony Don gets the job done. Ashley McClurkin about to engage, I think, in a battle with his brother shortly, which will be fun to watch. Simpson still ahead of Roberts, lap 10 of 20 now. So we're right on board. We look back then to Knockolls as well. He's been able to hold out Brock Schaefer as Roberts tries something different now, goes to the outside. He's going to try and hang it around the outside there, a little bit of contact. Simpson is hanging there as well. Roberts really trying to work something different here to make the overtake. That is a fantastic move Roberts has set that up by going around the outside, and I think he might do this into turn 1. So I tell you what, give him props. That is one of the best moves we've seen here at Winton, and that's a bit of, well, he invented that one. Around the outside. Now he goes defensive in the braking zone. We might have to go have a little bit of a look at that one. That was so well set up from Roberts. Let's have a quick look now on the replay. So he spun around the outside and then he hung it. So Schaefer had to leave McCarr with, could probably have left a bit less space. He was very generous on the amount he did leave, but at the end of the day, that has created the overtake. I wonder if Schaefer, watching all that, might have just taken a few notes down as he goes to the inside on knockholes now. They're wheel to wheel through that section of the racetrack, and well, Jordan comes back at him as they do at this circuit. You think you've got the pass done, and then all of a sudden the other car comes firing back through, but now he has made the move and he's back onto the tail of Ryan Simpson now, who has Roberts ahead of him, 4.4 seconds off the back of Rue Koistra with 9 and a bit laps to go. I reckon by the end of this, well, I reckon by lap 17 is going to be my prediction that Roberts is right on the back of Rue. So we're just watching now Hayden Carroll, P10 as well. There's a good scrap in the mid-pack here between Nichols, Collins and Carroll. And then back down the order, McClurkin being challenged by Brendan Jenner. This is for P15. So keep an eye on the gaps at the front, 4.3. Rue at the moment has responded here. He did a 1:18.0 last time around. That was 2/10 slower than Roberts, and 2/10 at this stage of the race is enough. If you can keep that pace up, you can still take the win tonight, Rue Koistra, from Roberts. The worry for him will be if he sees Roberts start to punch in those 1 minute 16 laps again. But I don't know if he's got enough tyres left in the car. He had to use a lot of the front and rear tyres to make those overtakes on Simpson. And here we go. We'll see at the end of this lap what time is produced. But Rue crosses the line now, and what does he do? He does a 1:17.9, so he's dipped into the 17s in response. A 1:17.0, so 9/10 quicker on that lap. That would put him in striking distance in about 3 laps time. So, or Schaefer, was he into the back of Simpson then? There was a bit of contact, I think. Simpson at the moment. Oh, it's almost some more contact. So lap 13 of 20. There's knockholes as well, firing right up onto the back of Brock Schaefer. Oh, a car round. That's not Koistra, is it? It is Koistra. Can you believe it? Rue's gone around and all that hard work. He was trying to turn the wick up to carry enough speed to hold on. He could see the relative diminishing, and unfortunately he's made a big error which will cost him a podium tonight. And did he do it all by himself? I think so. Let's have a look. So I think we're going to see him probably just turn in and then lose the back end of the car. Oh, he got a wheel on the dirt, that's what he did, and around he goes. So easy to do, and sadly for Koistra, that's probably the costliest mistake he's made in racing in a while. As Roberts now leads by 2.5 seconds. It'll be hard to catch from there, I reckon, for Simpson. The ultimate lap speed between the two at the moment, it's a 16.9 for Roberts, a 17.4 is the best lap time Simpson's done. Schaefer's done a 16.9 as well, but at the moment cannot get past Ryan Simpson. I wonder if Schaefer can try the move that Roberts pulled off around the outside at the final couple of corners on lap 14 of 20 now. So starting to run out of laps, especially with Roberts driving away from the field at the front. So Knockles is in here too. Once again, look how close Schaefer gets to the back of Simpson. Jordan Knockles could probably sense a podium tonight. A 16.8 for your race leader. That is incredible. He has turned the speed right up now. See you later, he says. 3.5 seconds the margin. Knockles staying within check here of Ryan Simpson and Schaefer. Further down the order, Shane Nichols is chasing down Michael Fowson for 8th position. And you got Sam Collins in the background there fighting with Kurt Bond. Some little micro battles going on. Tony Don at the moment has Lockie Barlow for company. And it's Jenna on the back of Ash McClurk, and these two have been scrapping as well. We're on board with Ash now looking back. And Ashley currently 14th position. And enjoying this final race, having a scrap here with Brendan in the Ferrari. A couple of cars that we love seeing racing together. The big mighty Mercedes versus the nimble Ferrari, screaming its way around this racetrack. Back to the front, there is Roberts, your race leader. The gap back now, 4.2. So he's checked out. There's Ryan Simpson, who I think is probably down on a little bit of power here, or at least down on lap speed, and carrying enough though to keep Schaefer out. That's where Roberts positioned the car earlier in the race to go around the outside. Well, Schaefer hasn't tried it yet. Maybe if he watches the replay back, he might try and add that one to his repertoire, because that was an incredible move. We start lap 16 now, only a few to go. Let's jump into visor cam and right on board here with Brock Schaefer, because I reckon this will be the place to be for a lap here. Let's listen and crank up the sound. Flat out on board there. It was good to watch. Such speed and commitment there from Schaefer, but still no love to get through. 5.6 seconds to lead for Roberts with only 3.5 laps to go. Looking pretty comfortable for him. Jenna's still behind McClurkin, can't get through. Big snap of oversteer for Jenna. That'll cost him some time. McClurkin drives off into the distance. Says, thank you very much. And he flashes his headlights. Nothing going on there in the background around McClurkin. I think a lonely race down there in 16th place, but coming across the line now. As we start lap 17, and Simpson still elbows sharp and pointy, holding up Brock Schaefer for this second position in the race. And Knockles, I wonder if he's thinking about getting involved somehow in this scrap, maybe just trying to poke the nose where it shouldn't be. Here he goes now for an overlap, so Knockles gets a good exit. If he can hang the outside here, this is what Roberts did. Try and go late on the brakes and then hang around the outside. No, he doesn't. Switches back towards the inside. Well, they're just struggling to get any sort of advantage over each other. Ryan Simpson still holds on to P2. The gap now nearly 7 seconds to the race leader. He's already tasting the champagne. Down the inside, Knockles had a look at Schaefer, then tucked back in behind. So every little opportunity now, they're putting pressure on. Knockles once again looks to the inside, filling the wing mirrors. Brock Schaefer, but he's, I think he's playing mind games more than anything. And Brock Schaefer, probably the last person you'll see crack from the mind games. So lap 18, here's your race leader. Getting through some lap traffic, mini muscle cars, Benny Roberts, Machine Cult car. Leads now by 6.7 seconds. Let's go back to Tony Don, who's fighting here with Lockie Barlow. Was there contact there? Oh, there's secondary contact. Barlow goes off the racetrack. And Don continues on ahead of them. McClurkin still fighting with Jenna. Bit of a rub between those. So I think Jenna just gave a bit of a tap-a-rooney to the back of Ash McClurkin's car as well. He's really pushing hard, the Tony Ricciardello Ferrari there. So incredible. Good scraps throughout the field tonight. We got one back with Ross Hansen as well, and Hayden Carroll. This is over 6th place. Hansen in the top forward tonight has done a great job to be right up there, and here we go. Carroll goes to the outside. Will try and carry speed around there, and Ross leaves him a little bit of space, but Carroll can't get it done. Now he tries to switch back on the inside, and down the pit straight we go. It's Ford versus Porsche. The big back end of that Porsche gripping up and sending itself out of the corners, but at the moment Ross Hansen doing everything he can to stay in front. This is good battle. That's what we want to see. There's about 6 or 7 little battles going on right now, and Ross Hansen has driven the wheels off the Ford tonight, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Ryan Simpson still stays ahead of Schaefer up in that 2nd position. We're about to get the white flag with 1 to go shortly. Oh, was there contact there? Oh dear, he goes around, and I think, is he trying to redress that? I think he is, which hurts them both. So Carroll hangs around and then redresses the position and gives it back to him, as we see now the battle for P2. And Simpson still ahead here. White flag, 1 to go. Simpson still ahead of Schaefer, and Knockolds for 4th, but Roberts leads the race into the final lap now, and he should be able to bring this home for a victory in the final round. He has been flying since the get-go. Roberts, Simpson, Schaefer, Knockolds, Koistra, your top 5. Unlucky for Koistra tonight. Probably feel he could have won that one, but it wasn't to be. He'll bounce back next season for sure, but start putting your hands together. This has been a mega drive from the rear of the field. 19 positions he's made up for this race win. Ryan Simpson is going to drive as well to the best of his ability tonight, because he's been able to hold out and go defensive against Schaefer. There was almost contact there again. Schaefer was throwing everything and the kitchen sink at him right now to try and get the move done, but I don't think it's going to work. Ryan Simpson, a lot of real world experience. He's done a fair bit in the sim world as well, and look at the damage on the front of Schaefer's car. That's got to be hurting the performance of that BMW. Oh, big dive down the inside. That is a mega send from Schaefer, late on the brakes, and he's made it stick. Can you believe how good was that overtake? One of the best we've seen, and down to the final corner now. Knockolds goes around the outside. He's going to try and get in there as well. Benny Roberts takes the checker flag. Well done to him. But Brock Schaefer comes onto the pit straight, and he is, well, he's going to take P2. Simpson just gets 3rd ahead of Knockolds. What a finish. That final lap overtake, one we're going to have to review. That was incredibly late on the brakes for Brocky Schaefer, and he got the job done at the dying minute. And wow, let's have a quick look at that now. So he set him up. He got a bit of a wobble on coming out of the corner, did Simpson. Then watch this. He switched to the right, then he just dove back to the left and straight down the inside. Simpson left the door open and was caught napping there. Knockolds almost got through as well. Incredible finish to the race, but Benjamin Roberts held on for a win, and what a job he's done throughout this championship. We'll bring you all the results shortly. We'll wrap it all up from here at Winton for the final round of the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries. It has been mega. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the results and the podium shortly. So your race results up on the screen now. Benjamin Roberts wins the final race of this series by 8.4 seconds in the end over Brock Schaefer and Ryan Simpson, your top 3. Shorkin Knockolds got 4th ahead of Koistra, Nichols, Fowles, Carroll, Hansen and Kurt Bond in your top 10. Simpson, Jenna McClurkin down in 13th, followed by Don Barlow, Ram McClurkin 16th, Dexter and Allemans round out your top 18. 19th tonight went to PJ Whiteman, Robert Medson and Brett Dickey, your top 21. Let's head across now for some interviews, and hopefully the drives aren't too far away, as they go around to celebrate what has been a mega championship. Thanks to everyone that's been part of the championship too, coming in and watching the races and supporting the drivers who've been a huge part of this. And as we see them pull up on the line, no doubt they'll come and chat to us shortly. There's your burnouts, and they send it. We'll see plenty of this now. A bit of celebratory donuts down at the start-finish straight here at Winton. How cool is this? So we wait for the drivers to pop in, taking their sweet time tonight. Let's go grab them. We'll grab, Ran's here. He beat the drivers tonight. Hello, Ran.
I thought, well, Benny's working out the points because it's all very serious.
I might let you run the interviews tonight, mate, because my voice is absolutely shot, if that's all right.
Yeah,
You're good at interviews.
I'm good at something.
The end of the race was mega, man. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the pass by Schaefer on Simpson right at the end there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen again so you can watch this at the same time.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Let's just do that. We'll just do the quick, the share. Here we go. Go live, and you can watch this, and we can just go to the replay again on this. Schaefer pass on Simpson. He set him up so well, did the old switcheroonie, and then dive down the inside. Check this out. So, we'll try and get the onboard. Let's watch the onboard. So he goes to the right, then he just dives down the left and says, yeah, I'll have that place. Thank you very much. And mega overtake at that point. Then Jordan says, right, I might have a go too. And then watch this into the last corner. Jordan thought he was a chance here for for third. He went down the outside. That's a move that Roberts pulled off earlier in the race. Around the outside, bumped wheels with Simpson, then onto the pit straight. Not much in it. And that was the finish for P3 as well. So tight. Ryan just getting P3 by Whisker. So yeah, really incredible finish to the race.
Ryan definitely wasn't going to just give it to him, was he?
No, never.
No, he doesn't mess around, That actually reminded me a bit of the F1s the other night at Silverstone.
Oh, how good was that?
Yeah, that was like they proper racing.
Yeah, that was mega, that bit around, the final corner where Hamilton got 2 spots. I'm not a Hamilton fan, but I actually stood up in my chair and cheered for him at that point.
Well, I like Hamilton because everyone else hates him, so it brings me joy to upset others so easily. But, yeah, anyway.
Let's talk to this race.
Benny might know the points.
Yep, Brock won the championship by 1 point.
Whoa!
Are you sure? What point system did you use, Benny?
It was the same as last week.
Well, so first race would be race 2 points, and second race would be race 3 points on the national series, yeah? Because last week we reversed it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And yes, congratulations, Brock! Shh! Oh, Brock, you're so amazing! That's where you go. Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't actually know I thought Ryan was going to win it, and then I was like, oh, I'll just send it on him anyway, because he's got more to lose, and he'll probably let me have it. And he did, which was good, but I had no idea that was for the championship. So I'm very fortunate, and it was a really good race with Ryan every time I've raced him. And yeah, that's crazy.
And do you have sponsors, Brock, that you would like to thank for your grand championship?
Yeah, definitely. So Gold Key Financial Services, the Barista Shed Marsden Park, Cert 1 Building Certifications, Breakthrough, yourself, everyone that raced, and Luke for the mad streams.
They are mad streams. Mad. And Benny, who got second?
So Ryan got second, and then thanks to Jenna's sort of crap night, I got third.
Wow, well, congratulations, Ryan Simpson. This must be a highlight of your racing career.
Oh, it wasn't bad, Ram, but I didn't realise it was so close. But, you know, congratulations to Brock. Obviously, he did one less round, so I'm pretty sure he deserved it.
Do you think you would have fought that pass a little closer if you thought it was down to 1 point?
Yeah, I probably would have driven down the inside of the track a bit more, but I didn't think it was necessary, and I think it was fair. So Brock was pretty fair by not having to go earlier, and I didn't have that much pace. So I think what it was is what it is. So good racing and a good championship. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. And do you have some sponsors you would like to thank?
As always, Parramatta Smash Repairs, and yeah, thanks to yourself, Luke, and all the guys that show up. So looking forward to next round in the GT4s.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit different, isn't it? And Benny, yeah, you've got some competition, which I'm guessing you're probably enjoying, mate, even with a third.
Yeah, sort of still annoyed from last week at Phillip Island. I just put myself on the wall. So that kind of did it in for me for the championship. But yeah, it's real good fun having Brock back this season.
He is fun, isn't he? You are fun, Brock.
Yeah, I try to be. I think that's the key to most races. If I am lucky enough to win, is that I don't really care if I win or not, and that's the secret to success. I promise.
That's what all the kids should take note of.
Yep.
And have a very hot wife, and then you're always happy no matter what happens, basically, yeah?
Yeah, and we're also lucky Luke's not out there racing, because I've raced him on R Factor, and I think he'd be showing us the way.
He would. I know he claims he wouldn't, but I remember he came and did one race with us, and he hadn't practiced at all, and he still wasn't too bad. So I think Luke, we all know that he'd show most of us up.
Oh, only if I use my 737 throttles and my yoke at the moment. That's the only thing that's been on my sim for the last year.
Well, yeah, congratulations to the top three, and I'm super excited to see how you guys go in the GT4. I'm pretty sure you're all in different cars. Yeah, you are, aren't you? I think Ryan, you're in the AMG, Brock's in the Aston, and Benny's in the McLaren. Yeah.
Should be a good bit of variety and racing different cars, different things. But yeah, GT3s have been fun, but GT4s look pretty exciting. Haven't driven it yet, but pretty keen to switch badges and hop in the Mercedes.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it'd be just good fun to do something different, and then we'll go back to GT3 for the end of the year, and then we can all have a break.
Hey,
Luke,
can I jump in quickly? Can we thank our sponsor for tonight, mate? Because we had Pitstop Metal Cars. I did give them a massive rap earlier on, so
let's drag Kurt in because he's probably swearing still.
yeah, let's do it.
Kurt, you're live. Is he? No, that was Brendan.
Now I've got him.
You got him?
I got him, yeah. Hey, Kurt.
Kurt, are you live on Lucas's fucking RACESTARS, bro?
Hey guys.
Kurt, what I want to know is how did you think the driving standards were tonight?
Oh, it's brilliant.
We actually dragged you in just to thank you for sponsoring the round, and maybe you could tell us, I know you love talking live, but tell us just a quick thing about your business.
Okay, well, it's not my business. I run it for Harrison Motoring Group, who also do real cars, Isuzu, Hyundai, Suzuki, F-Trucks. I've probably forgotten one, Kia. But as far as the models go, we do all the sort of leading brands such as Bianchi, classic collectibles, authentic collectibles, Spark, Mini Champs, Mini GT, which sort of feature not only the V8 supercars but like Formula One, GT3, that sort of stuff.
That sounds pretty cool. And occasionally you get something that's Trans Am sports sedan in too, don't you? And I think there was one on its way, if that's still occurring, the Monza.
Yeah, the Monza's probably almost a year overdue now. But there's actually going to be a few Monzas, but the first one's the Alan Moffat Federation version. And there's in 140 in the smaller scale, which is 143. There's a couple of sports sedans from like the early 70s, such as the Peter Brock Columbine, what they called the Beast, the LJ Tirana.
Ah, yep. And do you think we'd ever see like Tony Ricciardello's Alpha immortalised?
Well, I did talk to you about that. One of the guys who used to do models, but he's sort of out of the game at the moment, he talked about doing it, but it would be sort of a numbers is a problem. You sort of need, you'd have to do that in resin, so not die cast, and you'd need about probably 250 pre-orders for it to go ahead.
I'll buy one.
I think we'd definitely get like 50, wouldn't we? I think the 250 would start to be a bit of a struggle.
That's I reckon you get 50 or maybe even 100, but 250 is a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, no, well, thanks again. And Kurt's actually sponsoring around next season as well. And so that's the Don't Hit Kurt round, it will be called.
No, I'm calm now.
It's good times. But yeah, thanks again, Kurt. Appreciate you've been here since day one. So thanks for sticking around and adding some more colour to the series.
Thank you, Ran and Luke, for the awesome coverage each week.
Thanks, mate. All right, well, Ran, I think we'll wrap it up until next time, and we're coming back with something different and 2 more seasons to go. So, will you believe by Christmas we'll have done 14 seasons, or you will have done 14 seasons? Incredible.
Yeah, I know. And for someone that like every few seasons says I've had enough, go away. Yeah, to be honest, like what Brock was saying, I think the fun, if you just have fun and you're not too, in his case, he's not too stressed if he wins. I'm not too stressed if I get taken out. It's a bummer at the time, but you're like, oh well, whatever. And I think that's the thing. I think in the early seasons it was a lot more serious, and me included would get a little bit more upset about things. But now I'd say the majority, besides Kurt yelling at someone that hasn't raced real cars and telling them that's not what you do, or Eddie yelling at someone, we're sort of pretty good now. So I think that's the secret to why this season was actually probably the least stressful and most amount of fun.
Yeah, mega. All right, well, thanks so much, as always, man. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for the next season.
Cheers, Luke. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Legend. All right, well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And once again, big congratulations to the winner of the season, and that is Mr. Brocky Schaefer. So he's done well. And Ryan Simpson, P2. Roberts, P3 in the championship. Well done, everyone. But until next time, I'm Luke. Thanks for everyone that tuned in tonight. You guys are legends. And we'll see you shortly until, tomorrow night we've got pre-production car. If I'm well enough to do that, we'll be back. So take care, everyone, and good night.